We're back once again, ladies and gentlemen, only on Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel. Now, joining me here on location, this man will be getting ready once again for a huge fight coming up. It's going to be Kambosos Haney 2, October 15th, or basically Sunday afternoon, October 16th, where they are at the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, Australia. And he'll be taking on this man here, being actually he takes on Nawaphon Kaikanha in a 12-round final eliminator for WBC bantamweight world title. We're excited to have him on the show. As I give you once again, it is Mayhem himself. I give you Jason Moloney. Jason, so it's you. It's before we go into your opponent, how big is it for you? Because for American fans, I don't think they understand. This is pretty historic. This is basically for in Australia. I'm guessing like your Madison Square Garden or
Yeah.
Wembley Arena. I mean, as a little kid, how often did you dream of fighting at Rod Laver Arena in a major fight? Now it is you're fighting at Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, Australia, in a major fight.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It's a massive deal. As you said, this is probably like our equivalent of the Madison Square Garden. I'm from Melbourne, so that's my hometown, and that's as good a fight venue as you'll find anywhere around the world. It's as amazing as it was on the Kambosos Haney card the first time fighting at Marvel Stadium with 41,000 people. It was amazing with that many people, but that sort of stadium almost doesn't work that well for boxing because it's so big and you sort of lose a bit of that atmosphere and that sound. But at Rod Laver, it's a lot more intimate. I think it's 15 or 20,000 capacity, but they will be jam packed and closed roof. And yeah, the noise and the atmosphere is going to be electric in there. And I just can't wait. It's a big fight for me in my career, and to do it in front of my home crowd at Rod Laver is going to be very, very special.
Forget about the fight itself and all that. But how much, as a little kid, a little kid in you, how much are you just geeking out because, as you said, it's Rod Laver Stadium. I mean, as you said, it's
Yeah,
and you probably seen you were growing up. It's like for years, you know, that this is the big thing. Hey, you want to
yeah,
play there. It's as I said, for football, for anybody who plays American football here, it's like playing in Lambeau Field or playing in
yeah,
the Big House in Michigan or in Madison Square Garden. For you, when are you gonna have that moment where you just sit there and you're like, okay, this is awesome. Rod Laver
yeah,
Arena.
yeah,
The Australian Open plays here. I am playing the same place as the
yeah,
Australian Open in Margaret Court. I am in
yeah.
history.
Yeah, I know it's going to be amazing, mate. And yeah, when I think about it, it just puts a smile on my face because I know it's going to be a very, very special moment in my life and something that I'll look back and remember forever. So, got to go out there and perform and my absolute best, get the win, and yeah, this will be a day I'll never forget.
Let's take it to your opponent, Ben. You have it's WBC Eliminator. You
Yep.
have Nawaphon Kaikanha. What do you know about him? I mean, when you look at him, and he's a Thai veteran, so you know he's a tough little rugged bastard. What does he
Yeah.
bring to the table? Like when you see him fight, what kind of fighter is he?
Yeah, that's what's a bit hard to gauge. I mean, how well, you look at that record, it's so impressive 56 wins and only the one defeat. Um, and he looks tough, he looks rugged, yeah, very experienced, as I said. So I'm expecting a really hard fight. But it's hard to gauge because he really hasn't been in there against the level of opposition that I believe I have. I don't think he's faced anyone like myself or fought at this level before. So you don't know really how good he is. Um, I'm just preparing for a very, very tough fight. But I'm in great form and I'm confident that I've got what it takes to beat him, and move forward and become the WBC bantamweight champion of the world very soon. So it's very exciting. But yeah, as for him, I really don't know what to expect. So I just prepare for a very, very tough fight. He likes to come forward. He looks strong and very experienced. So it'll be a hard fight, but I'm going to bring my best, and I'm sure that my best will be enough.
I was gonna say, how tough is that when I'm looking at his record, and yeah, it is impressive. And all of a sudden, you start looking like, okay, the one time he stepped up to world competition, Juan Navarrete, who, hey, Juan Navarrete is great, but he got knocked out in the third round. It's like, okay, how do you figure out, a guy when you're watching tape? It's like, okay, he, 4 fights ago, he was fighting a guy who was 0-1, or another guy who was his
Yeah.
debut, another guy who was 13-6-1. It's like, how tough is it figuring out sometimes how good a guy is when you're looking at the tape going, these guys I wouldn't even hire for sparring partners, and he's fighting them, in his last 5, 6 fights.
Yeah, that's right. And, obviously they just do things a bit different over there, and they just keep him active. And you watch those fights. There is a bit of footage on YouTube, and he's just sparring these guys. He doesn't even look like he's getting out of first or second gear. So he's obviously just staying active and staying in the ring, and avoiding that ring rust. But as I said, I don't think he's been in there with anywhere near the level of opposition that I have, and I think that's going to be a bit of a shock to his system. When you're going, from the level that he's fighting at to the level that I bring, I think I'll be too much for him. So that's, full respect to him. I'm expecting a tough fight, like I said, but I just think that you can't go from the level of opposition that he's been fighting to coming into the ring with me and being sharp enough or good enough to beat me. I don't think so. Preparing my absolute best and expecting a hard fight, but I expect to get the job done and keep moving forward.
Moving back to this in a bit, but take me back to your last fight. It was a third round knockout over Aston Pelicite. Once again, Marvel Stadium, Docklands, Melbourne, this past June. I know you and I talked about or go ahead of this fight, but what went right? Did anything go wrong? And how nice was it, getting in there, taking care of business, and coming out going, okay, I'm not injured, no, I'm not nicked up, and then hey, I can now fight. 3 months, 4 months later, I'm ready to go, and not having little nagging injuries out of that fight.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's probably the best performance of my career, I think. As you said, not much went wrong. I had a great preparation, and Palikte was a really good fighter, and it's a really dangerous fight if you let him have the fight on his terms. But I just box box to the game plan, box very disciplined. I didn't take too many risks. I could feel actually early he had a lot of power for the day. You can really punch like a lot of the Filipinos can. They all seem to have this crazy power. So I could feel that he really had a lot of power, and I didn't want to be wearing too many of those shots. And obviously, I caught him flush in the third round and put him down, and from there he didn't really get a chance to recover. And I took him out, so it was a great performance, and it's obviously moved me up to the number one spot with the WBC, and very close to achieve my dream of becoming world champion. And this is almost the final hurdle. I get past Kaikanha, and I'll get my opportunity again to have that green belt around my waist, which will be a dream come true.
What was it about the performance that because you've had fights where you've taken on guys like this, and usually it takes 6, 7 rounds. Like, what changed here? Like, what made you decide, okay, I might be a little more aggressive. I want to get rid of this guy quicker. Like, what was it about this fight that you went, I want to be more offensive, I want to start fast and I want to, finish it fast.
It wasn't even that I was looking to finish it fast, to be honest. I have been working on my right hand for a long time now. Some people know I had surgery on my right hand a couple of years ago now, and it's taken me a while to get, I guess, the full belief in that right hand again, and to be able to punch with my full power in that right hand. I was nursing an injury with that hand for quite a while, so now it's back 100%, and I've been able to get my belief back in it and start throwing it with bad intentions again, and really getting some power back in that right hand. So I didn't go out there to take him out early or anything, but I know that when that my right hand lands flush, that it's really going to do some damage, and that's exactly what happened. Palikte was open, trying to catch him with an uppercut, and I just caught him flush right on the chin, and down he went. And as I said, he just wasn't going to recover from that. I've got pretty good power for a bantamweight. I know that if I land it sweet, it's going to do damage. And I didn't let him off the hook. I jumped straight back on him, and then obviously he went down again, and the referee waved it off. So I wasn't looking for the knockout. I always want the knockout, but I wasn't particularly going overly aggressive. I was just fighting my fight, and I caught him coming in with a great right hand. So it was very satisfying because obviously, as I said, a lot of hard work gone into that right since having surgery on it, and now it's back better than ever.
What was the toughest part? Was it the physical part in terms of like getting the hand strength, back, getting it, in shape, getting your hands, or was it more the mental part for you where it's like, okay, do I trust the right hand? I don't want to break it again. I don't want this recurring thing. I mean, for you, was it more mental or physical of, getting over that hump for using the right hand more?
Yeah, a bit of both. A lot of rehab's gone in. After the surgery, I couldn't make a fist properly, so it took a long time for me to be able to throw it properly again. And then after it started to come good, yeah, I just didn't have that real belief in it because for so long when I've thrown my right hand, it's been in pain. So I guess there's that mental hurdle of being able to throw it and trusting that you're not going to hurt it again. And yeah, just put a lot of work into the rehabbing it and getting it right because obviously that right hand's a very important tool for the rest of my career. But I put the work in. I've got it right. It's back 100% now, and now I can really throw it and put a lot behind it and believe in it and know that when it lands, it's not going to hurt and it's going to do a lot of damage. So it's back better than ever now, and I'm very happy to have both hands again and be in such a great position in my career with some big fights coming up.
Let's talk about the big fights coming up here. You and I have talked about this before, and right now, if all goes according to plan, you beat Nawaphon Kaikanha, you become the mandatory for Naoya in a way. He's
Yep.
already said that his last fight in this division is against Paul Butler. He's going to go for the unification. He wins. He's moving up. What does that mean for you going forward? Because you're at that point now where I know you and I talked about you want big fights, you want money fights, you want the big names. So do you stay at this division, or are you thinking about well, if in a way goes up, I'm moving up also. I'm gonna chase the big fights.
No, I'm staying at bantamweight, and it looks as though he's going to move up. We don't know 100%, but that's what he said, and I sort of think will happen. But I've just got to control what I can control, and that's beating Kaikanha on the 16th. And wherever happens after that, I'm not sure. It looks like he's going to move up and vacate, so I'll probably fight the next highest contender for the vacant belt. But I'm willing to face anyone in the division and make all the big fights and face anyone in my way. I would love to fight Anui again if that opportunity comes once down the track, but I'm not going to follow him up to the next division. I think when he moves up, that's really going to leave a hole and open a lot of doors for someone else to come out and take over and become the king of the bantamweight division. And I believe that's me. I make the bantamweight limit quite well, so I plan on staying there. And once he vacates all these belts, then I'll come through and collect them all. And I look forward to ruling this division for the next few years.
Here's the second question, because and I know you can't answer it now because there's a lot of moving parts. Is it time for you to maybe to go with another promoter? Because you and I have talked about this. It's if you're with one promoter, can't fight with the other guys. There is no sharing in boxing. Sharing is caring. Yeah, that doesn't exist in boxing. And I know you're looking around going, I want to fight in America again. I want Emmanuel Rodriguez. That's a rematch. Damn it. The second time around, I'll be ready to do this travel here. Gary Antonio Russell. You're looking at him going, hey, I'd love to knock him off here. Charlie Edwards, Lee McGregor, go to the UK. Hey, Jason Moloney, Neil Daenerys. You end the Filipino Flash, you basically take his crown. They're all with different promoters, and all of these guys don't want to work with Bob Arum, vice versa. If networks, it's just a problem. At what point do you and Tony sit down and go, okay, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna get these fights? And when do you decide? When do you plan to figure out? Okay, what's going to be best for me to get the money fights, the fights that all of a sudden I make enough money where my daughter's college paid for. We have enough money. Second honeymoon, European vacation. Like, when do you sit down and go, okay, I got a plan for not just the next fight, but 2, 3, 4 fights down the road and figure out how to get all these guys?
Yeah, now look, I'm extremely happy with Top Rank and how they're looking after my career and moving me forward. And I think they've given me great opportunities, and I'm very grateful. And I'll go out there and I'll win this fight, and I'll become WBC world champion. And then all those fights are makeable. And if anyone wants to fight me and wants to fight for the WBC world title, then they'll have no choice. So all these fights are very makeable once I have that belt around my waist. And yeah, hopefully the big fights and the big money fights all come. But I've just got to go out there and win that world title first. And the world's my oyster, and there's some big opportunities and big fights coming up. And Top Rank can make those fights. I'm sure of it. And I'm looking forward to a bright future ahead with them. Just got to win this belt, and all will be good.
The ultimate trap fight, and you know it. I know it. Here, you're fighting in the arena right down the street, hop, skip, jump away from Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, Australia. You grew up as a little kid, want to one day saying, I'm gonna fight in this place. Oh no, I'm gonna fight in this place. Now you're fighting there. You're taking on Nawaphon Kaikanha in a WBC eliminator, one step possibly from becoming once again a world champion. He feels he has huge advantage over you. You're going to be the one who's going to be doing the media rounds, doing press, doing interviews, doing, hey, there's after parties. Hey, there is, appearances here. Hey, there's TV stuff, media. People are going to be wanting to talk to you. He doesn't have to worry about that. You are the one who's pressure. You're fighting from your fans, your hometown. Everybody's going to be calling, hey, we want tickets. Can I get tickets? Andrew, Jason, can you give me tickets? Ringside tickets. Hey, remember, I was your best friend in primary school. Still get my primary jeans. I mean, you're always saying that here. How do you focus on the fight when you have all these distractions, all these requests, all these people, including your wife's friends going, hey, he has tickets. He gets into the after party. It's like, God damn it, just let me alone. Like, how do you focus on this fight and not let the outside noise just distract you?
Look, experience. I've been there before. I know what it's like. So there's no surprises. But the honest one, you just have to be selfish. And it's just a reality. I don't like letting people down, but at the end of the day, you just have to be selfish. And, I can't help everyone. I got to focus on my fight. Tickets are available on tickettech.com. Go help yourself. There's no freebies. And I just concentrate on my fight, concentrate on my training, and make sure that I'm leaving no stone unturned. And I don't let anyone distract me. I'm too focused on the job at hand. So nothing gets in my way. I'm a true professional, and I pride myself on that. And no distractions are going to stop me from going out there and performing at my absolute best and moving forward and becoming world champion.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's going to be only on ESPN, I guess, pay-per-view, or you have local channels here in Australia. It's going to be Saturday, October 15th. And once again, it'll be Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. main event, co-main event, though. It's going to be Nawaphon Kaikanha versus this man here, Jason Mayhem Moloney. Jason, before I let you go, so where can fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, Instagram, the website, and who are the sponsors going to be for this fight coming up?
Yeah, they can follow my career on Twitter at Jason Moloney1 and Instagram at Jason Moloney, Facebook, Jason Moloney, and my website is teammoloney.com. So yeah, follow the journey. I appreciate everyone's support. And yeah, really looking forward to this fight coming up. So tune in and support me. I think it's going to be an exceptional fight and move me even closer to achieving that dream, become world champion. So I'm very, very happy and very grateful. Got some great sponsors on board for this fight. My major sponsor, Forest One, and also the Plumbing Trade Employees Union and all the other sponsors that support me and allow me to chase this dream. So I'm very grateful. And yeah, please follow the journey, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Jason Mayhem Moloney will be fighting once again October 15th, or actually Sunday, October 16th, for all the Australian fans out there on Rod Laver Arena, Melbourne, Australia. It's Haney versus Kambosos 2. Check your time local listings for details where it's going to be airing and playing. We come back. A lot more going on here, only on Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.